What's up, football fans? Welcome to Frank Football Zone, your home of the latest football news, match analysis, transfer market, and everything good that goes around this beautiful game of football. My name is Frank, and if you love the game, then you're in the right place. Subscribe, comment, share, and let's talk football. Well, the Premier League just commenced a few days ago, and in this channel, I'll be covering every match, analyzing everything from the press conferences of the coaches, players, okay, watching the whole game, analyzing everything from the fans, the referee, and everything that will take place for the whole of this season. So if you want all the updates of the Premier League and La Liga as well, French League One, and all the top five leagues, this is the home of all the news. So the first thing that I would like to talk about is the Premier League, and this is the match between Hull City and Manchester United. Well, it was a surprise because the newly promoted Hull City destroyed Manchester United 2 goals to nil, and that made me to rush into the Manchester United squad, from the goalkeeping department to the striking to the coach and everything. And one thing I realized, the transfer, many Manchester United fans have been carried away by the transfers they have made, and they have not analyzed the kind of players they have signed. They have signed the Belgian international Yuri Tielemans from Aston Villa. They have signed Andre Santos from Chelsea and Carlos Baleba from Brighton. Let's put aside Baleba first because he didn't take part in this match against Hull City. Let's talk of Andre Santos and Tielemans. Tielemans is a serial winner. He won the FA Cup when he was with the Leicester. I remember his goal against Chelsea. He also won the Europa League with Aston Villa last season. And so this is a player who has at least has experience in the Premier League because he has played for Leicester City, he has played for Aston Villa. He knows what winning really means. So he's a good midfielder. All of us can admit that. He's a good midfielder. Andre Santos is young, zero experience. He has not featured much into the Premier League. And these are the players that Manchester United have been carried away with. But I don't think if these two midfielders, and if you can add Baleba, they can be very instrumental to this club. Well, they can be instrumental if Manchester United just want to finish in the top four or maybe in the Europa League spot. But if they want to compete for the Premier League, these two midfielders are not enough to convince their fans that they can win the Premier League. And also looking at Carlos Baleba, he's a good midfielder. We've seen what he has done at Brighton. He'll be very instrumental to this club defensively. But again, in case of an injury, Manchester United's midfield will be demolished because it's only Tielemans, Santos, Baleba, and Bruno Fernandes. And Bruno Fernandes is an attacking midfielder, not a defensive one. So in case of any injury, they'll have an issue here because Santos is young and inexperienced. So you will need time to adapt to the Premier League and also adapt to this new squad. Then also looking at the central defense of Manchester United, and this is where I think there is the biggest problem because they have Harry Maguire, the English international, they have Lisandro Martinez, the Argentine international, they have Heaven, and then they also have the Lead. Let's begin by Harry Maguire, the former captain. All of us know that Maguire is inconsistent. He has never been consistent. So this is not a defender you will rely on for a full season. He's full of mistakes. He makes mistakes day and night. He makes mistakes left, right, and center. So this is not a center back you can rely on. Apart from mistakes, he is inconsistent. Maguire cannot put a top performance from the beginning to the end of the season. He will have ups and downs, scoring on goals, and many other mistakes. So this is not a centre back you will rely on. The other centre back is Martinez. He's never consistent. Yes, he's a top defender, top centre back. But again, he's inconsistent. And apart from inconsistency, he's also prone to injuries. I don't think if he has ever played a full season from the first to the last match of the league. He is prone to injuries. And apart from that, he's also inconsistent because if you come from an injury, you need time to adapt, time to be fit. And so this will cost Manchester United because of his injuries and inconsistency. The other player is De Ligt. He's injury prone as well, then he's never consistent. This is a centre back who did well at Ajax, but he failed at Bayern Munich, he failed at Juventus. This clearly indicates this is not a player who can give or who can be good at these top clubs, because failing at Bayern Munich, failing at Juventus, there's no way you are succeeding at Manchester United. Bayern Munich is playing in the Bundesliga. It's not a tough league. It's one of the easiest league in the top 5 leagues. He played at Juventus in the Serie A. Is not a tough league as compared to the Premier League. So if he failed in these 2 easy leagues, the Premier League will be hectic to him. So apart from injuries, he's also inconsistent. So you cannot rely on De Ligt as one of your centre backs throughout the season. The other player is Heaven. Heaven is young, inexperienced as well, zero experience. He will need time to adapt. Remember, he's playing with the likes of Maguire, the likes of De Ligt, the likes of Martinez, who will not be there throughout the season. Most of the time they'll be injured. So Heaven will not, before he adapts to play with the 3 centre backs, Martinez, De Ligt, and Maguire, it will take time as well. And now that he's young, he will need that one central defense that he'll be partnering with. But now that I know, Carrick will have a rotation, because remember they have Leny Yoro as well. Yoro is young and inexperienced. He's also prone to injuries. So looking at the whole central defense of Manchester United, I don't think if this team, these centre backs, can win the Premier League with this club. They still need to do something at the central defense, because the defenders are not consistent, and most of them are prone to injuries, and some of them are young. That means they have zero experience. So looking at the central defense, Manchester United need to do something. This from the analysis of the previous match. They have lost 2-0 against Hull, the newly promoted Hull City. Then looking at the fullbacks, they have Mazraoui, they have Luke Shaw, they have Dalot. Mazraoui is prone to injuries as well, and is never consistent. Luke Shaw, looking at his age, Shaw is old. He's not the same Shaw who came from Southampton a few seasons back. He's old, Then he's also prone to injuries. This is not a player, again, you can rely on. He cannot play like 5 games consecutively. In one of the games, he'll be injured. He'll be away for around 3 or 4 games, comes back again, trying to find fitness, So this is not a player we'll rely on. They have Dalot as well. He is not good enough. Manchester United fans can agree to that, can admit that Diogo Dalot is not good enough for a club like Manchester United. So looking at their fullbacks again, this team needs to do something when it comes to fullbacks, because if they are going to rely on these ones, this will be a bit difficult. Looking at the attack, they have Mbeumo, they have Cunha, they have Rashford, and they have Sesko. Talking of Mbeumo, this is a good player. He's clinical. He shows in his face that he's hungry for scoring goals. He's hungry for winning trophies, ready to put in work. So to Mbeumo, I think this is a good striker, and he'll be very instrumental to this club. Looking at Matheus Cunha, this is not a proper number 9. He's a midfielder, so he's being used as a false 9. And this clearly indicates that there's something wrong when it comes to attacking. That's number 9 role specifically. Because if there's a midfielder who's playing as a false 9, that means there's something wrong at the center forward. So Cunha is not a proper number 9, he's a midfielder. He's only playing, even though he's a good midfielder, he has all the qualities to play for a club like Manchester United, one of the best midfielders. On his day, he will offer everything a team needs. Looking at Rashford, he has an uncertain future. Nobody knows where Rashford will end up. He might leave, he might remain. He had a release clause of around 40 million euros. There's no team that came in for him. He was on loan at Barcelona, then Barca decided to go for Gordon. And at the end, so there's no he's going back to Barcelona. So his future is not known. His jersey has been taken and given to Cunha as well. So nobody knows where Rashford will end up. So there's an issue there as well. Benjamin Sesko, he's not good enough for the Premier League. I believe all of us can admit that. Yes, he did well at Leipzig, but remember that is the Bundesliga, one of the easiest leagues in the top 5 leagues in Europe. So I don't think if he's good enough. And he's also prone to injuries. Like last season, he didn't finish well. He did not play the game they played against Hull City because of an injury. So he's not good enough for the Premier League. He also needs time to adapt. And this is Manchester United, one of the biggest clubs in the world. They need players who will start hitting the ground running immediately. This is not a team that will give you time to adapt. So Sesko will need time to adapt. And so looking at the whole of this squad, remember there was Zagzi as well, who his future is not known. He might be sold, he might remain. Nobody knows where Zagzi will end up. So looking at the whole of this squad, I don't think if they are ready to compete for the Premier League this season. They still need time to build. And maybe even the top 4 might be a bit difficult, because looking at the kind of business, the likes of Tottenham, Chelsea, the likes of Liverpool are doing, even Aston Villa, it will be difficult for this team to maybe qualify for the top 4. And looking at their coach, Michael Carrick, he's a young coach. I have never witnessed a young coach do well in the Premier League. Since I started watching this league, I've never seen a young coach doing well in the Premier League. And Carrick will not be the first one. He's inexperienced. United fans were carried away by his performance in the final matches of the last season. So they were like, he's a good coach. Let him be given a contract. Let him be the coach next season. And Manchester United board did it. And remember, the Premier League is not a tournament. This is a league that you must play 38 games. And him being a young coach, he's coaching the Premier League, the Champions League, the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup. It will not be easy for him, because this is the first time he's encountering such a thing. It will not be easy for him. If it could be the Premier League alone, I could give him the benefit of a doubt. But the Premier League, the Champions League, Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, it will not be easy for Carrick. Looking at the squad he has, injury-prone players, and players who are inconsistent as well, it will be difficult for him to compete in these competitions. And so the squad is not good enough. Players are inconsistent. Some of them are prone to injuries. So I don't think if Manchester United will finish in the top 4 this season. Save this video and we shall talk at the end of the season. They still have a long way to go. They need to build. They need to sign quality players. And let them not be carried away by Michael Carrick's final games last season. I believe United will again struggle. But anyway, congratulations to the newly promoted Hull City for beating Manchester United 2-0. And remember to subscribe. Comment down below about the Manchester United Hull City game. Let me know what's your take on their squad, from the goalkeepers, from the defenders, to the attack, to the coach, and to the fans as well. Let me know down below what is your take on everything about Manchester United. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe, share, and comment. Thank you. See you next time.